everyone, and welcome to One United. This is Wali Siddiqui, joined in with Ekus, Dinete Thomas, and Paritosh Joshi. So, on an uneventful day, you would like to say it was against Everton, a one-all draw, and yeah, horrible mistake by David De Gea, and it was his seventh error which led to a United losing points, and this has been the story so far for David De Gea. In spite his late heroics in the match, and then Bruno Fernandes obviously scored, and his good form continues at his new club, and we are living every bit of it. But who should I ask first? I think Ekus, what would you like to say over here? Because whenever Chelsea drop points, whenever they draw or lose against any other team, it's basically the same story for us. We end up dropping points, and the top four hopes then they hang in the balance as a result of that.
Well, I agree with that because the team is not consistently playing well. They're playing well in patches, and Bruno is class apart from the others. Um, I feel Igalo should have scored. It was an easy tap in. Anyone else would have scored that in. Maybe he's a tad bit slow, but it's us to blame for the draw, and it could have been much worse. So we take that 1 point and move forward. But I feel that Ole has done something positive by keeping Lingard and Pereira away, which is benefiting us. If they both played in this game, we would have lost 4-0 just like the last season.
Right, I remember that traumatic day, and good thing that we did not get to
Wali,
relive that.
You and I both
Yeah,
remember that.
yes, we all remember that. It's like one of the worst memories in my life.
We
Anyways,
watched it
Paritosh,
together.
the other thing that I would like to ask is that we got to see another new formation. This time it was a diamond, because you could see that it was McTominay, Matic, and Fred. Fred was slightly playing towards the left, and there was no specific striker because Martial was also on the left. And then you could see that Greenwood was on the right. So why is Solskjaer not sticking to one particular formation as of now? Is he waiting for Pogba to get back into the team? Is he adjusting the team according to Pogba's need, or is this something which he wants his team to be adaptable?
I think what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants right now is that the team to play fluid football, attacking football, and for that to happen, he wants quick passing game. He wants quick passing game to be the forefront of Manchester United. And when someone like Paul Pogba gets back, because he's almost fit, as far as the latest information goes, Paul Pogba could feature in a week or two. So
Right.
that is the latest news right now. So Paul Pogba, as soon as he gets back, as soon as someone like Marcus Rashford gets back after a month or so, I think, uh, a month more, then it will be a lot easier for Manchester United to play in that particular formation. Given that when Bruno Fernandes combines with Paul Pogba, it is going to be really interesting with the support of McTominay through the back and someone like Fred. So it is going to be interesting. Paul Pogba is getting back. We're having some positive football with our team, so it's looking quite good at the moment. I still think that Bruno Fernandes is taking a lot of responsibilities, and that shouldn't be the case.
Right.
Although he's playing really well, but I think he's taking too much upon himself. I saw an opportunity where Bruno went for goal, and there was Anthony Martial on his left. He later apologized to Anthony Martial, but he could have easily passed it to Martial, and there could have been a chance. So that is one thing
Right.
that Bruno should keep in mind, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should also talk to Bruno about it. That he is not responsible for everything that happens on the pitch with Manchester United. He can trust other players, and someone like Anthony Martial, who has been playing well ever since Bruno Fernandes came in.
I think that's more to do with his character. I think he's more of a leader, and I'll have to go to an extent to say that he's like the best signing in the post Sir Alex Ferguson era, because he just know, because the way that he's driving himself, he's conducting his team, the way that he wants the other players to feed off of him, it's just amazing to see, and it just like we're really lucky enough to have such a quality midfielder in the ranks. And now, Dylan, we'll get to you over here. Now, since you're a big fan, sarcastic fan of Paul Pogba, we're gonna ask you about this. That do you think that Paul Pogba, as soon as he gets back in the squad, will he be available in midfield or not?
Um,
depends on, because I really like the formation of Fred McTominay and Bruno right in front of the two midfielders. If Pogba is gonna come back, like let's say in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think he should still start off from the bench. I wouldn't rush him into the starting 11, unless if either of one of the midfielders drop their performance. And I think Bruno fits in as a starting 11 for without a doubt. And Fred and McTominay has deserved their place in the starting 11 due to their performances this season. So yeah, I don't think Pogba should get into the starting 11, but again, he is quality, and if he is to like help us out finish in top four, maybe Ole should
Right,
consider bringing him, but only as a substitute in the beginning.
right, right. The other thing that I would like to ask all three of you is because I'm also quite confused with this. That right now United are very much in the top four race. They're also in the Europa League. So, and you could notice that we had a game on what was it again? Thursday night, right? It was on Thursday night against Club Brugge. 5-0, we stumped them. But it's another game, and then you have a game on Sunday morning, like around evening time in England, and in Everton. In fact, it was a home game. I beg your pardon. So it was a home game, and then we had a game against Everton. So there is a nature in which you could actually get exhausted when you play the Europa League, and then you have to, as soon as possible, get back to the team bus, go back to the hotel, train the next day, and then play against Everton on Sunday. So it mentally exhausts you, it physically exhausts you. So with both things in contention at the moment, the Europa League as well as top four. Paritosh, I know you've said that the Europa League is something which you would like to focus on, but don't you think that top four is viably easier as compared to the Europa League to achieve?
Nope.
So,
I still think that Europa League should be the focus, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is also focusing on Europa League as as a source of a trophy, because a trophy shuts a lot of critics up. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to survive for long, if he provides the Europa League, if in case he provides the Europa League trophy in this season, a lot of critics would be shunned, and there would be a trophy in the cabinet. It is as simple as that. No one will
but one
remember
thing,
if
one
you
thing,
finish fourth.
Paritosh,
Uh,
one thing. Do
yep.
you think that if United go in the final of the Europa League, let's say they go into the finals, and then do you think that there is a chance of them also finishing at fourth or third if they go into the finals, or do you think that if they go into the finals, there is no possibility of finishing in the top four?
No, there is a possibility. As I said, that there are a lot of positives right now for Manchester United, and after long, I'm seeing so many positives, all at one go. We can see Bruno clicking. We can see Paul Pogba coming back. Marcus Rashford is also healing fast.
In
So
April, he'll
there
be back
are
on April.
yes. So 1 month, as I said, that he'll be back after 1 month. So the whole
Mhm.
March, yes, we will not be having the services, but April would be crucial because April and May, these are the crunch times. Here, the whole
Mhm.
season gets down to business, and it'll be torrid times because as far as we can see, there is almost no gap between the teams. The points are really the margin is really small, and that is where someone like Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba will come in handy because these are quality players. And as far as Manchester United go, I'm seeing a lot of positives. I don't want to jinx it right now because we've been having this injury issues and other problems constantly with our club ever since I don't know for 5 years now. We are constantly having these problems,
Right.
and I don't want to be someone who jinxes the situation when something is looking positive. And I still hope that Manchester United do have a chance of winning the Europa League and then also finishing the top four in the top four position because it is very much in our hands. If we play good football, if we play consistently, we don't need to play out of our skins. We just need
Hmm.
to focus on our football and play constantly. We don't need the inconsistent performances. If that can be avoided, we still have a pretty good chance.
Ekus, now your stance on this because the Europa League is something which I think we will be going into the next stages because we've got Lask, and I don't think that there might be much of a challenge. Okay, the away fixture might be a little tough, but I think we might be able to secure the right. So, considering that we might be in the quarterfinals, like there's a 90% chance we might be in the quarterfinals. So, Solskjaer might take the Europa League seriously, but with that, there is a possibility that the top four chances might get blown off, because that's what happened to Arsenal last season. They came into the finals and they couldn't win the Europa League, and they weren't even in the top four. So do you think that United also have the same problem where they have to prioritize one specific thing, one specific goal? Or do you think they might be able to achieve both? Or do you think that they'll have to jeopardize one?
Uh, so you're trying to say if United keep both the trophies as
Like if they prioritize top four as well as Europa League, like do they have to prioritize either one, or do they have to actually just go for both of them and do the best, and which is
of
quite
course
difficult at the moment.
they have to go for both of them. Um there's no confirmation that if they go for either one they're going to succeed. So why not keep both the doors open? Um and I also feel that big clubs usually are always in like forefront. Since we have already conceded in the Carabao, we still have two trophies to target. So I feel that we should definitely go for all of them, and we should play to our potential because our squad is coming back. And I think if we do have 15 fit players, we'll we'll be in top four. I'm not too sure about the Europa because we might still get a team like Inter Milan, and we might tumble. Uh, so I just feel that I should go for both of them.
Right. So according to Ekus, I think we might be able to go the distance in the Europa League, as well as maybe solidify our berth in the top four. So Dinette, we've got Paritosh's say, we've got Ekus's say. What do you think, that will United be aiming for both, or will they succeed in one particular category?
I think by the time we reach the semi-finals, I mean the last 2 3 weeks of the Premier League, if we're in the semi-final, then definitely I think Ole might focus on the Europa League more than the Premier League. By that I mean it's not like he's not gonna consider the league. I think he'll still go for it, but I think you'll see the likes of the legends Pereira and Lingard coming in to the first team in the
The
league
legend.
towards the end of the season if we are still in the
Yes,
semi-final.
yes, definitely.
But again, I feel like Europa League might be a bit too strong this season. We might not win it. The best way to do this is
Uh,
either finishing fourth
I
or
beg to
hopefully
differ.
City's ban. Oh,
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I don't think
hmm
Europa League there'll be too much competition. Yes, there is competition, but the Premier League is hectic, man. You can't deny that Premier League is just completely random. You never know. Watford defeating Liverpool, a team which was undefeated for so long, and just not even defeating, thumping them 3-0. That is not a
but
margin that Liverpool are used to. So it's like Premier League is very, very crazy right now. And I still think that Europa League is an easier competition comparatively to
but even
win
if you look at
with.
but even if you look at Europa League, look at the team that we are playing. They dismantled the PSV side, which were good. They are the champions of Austria. And even if you look at the teams like Ajax failing to win, even Europa League is competitive. Getafe is doing well. Yeah, and like Ekus said, if we get someone like Inter Milan, it would be a completely different game because there are so many players there that would want to prove against us, and even their managers also know pretty much how to play against United. So I can't even Wolves. If we get Wolves again, that would be like the sixth time we'll be playing them. They would also be wanting to
And,
take revenge on us. So I feel
right.
Europa League is also competitive.
And the other
It
thing,
is
the other
competitive.
thing is,
I'm just saying that we have a better chance. I'm just saying that we have a better
Mhm.
chance because we are more of a cup team than a league
yes,
team. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that's
true,
my
Right.
true
my
that.
thought on it.
I think it's the nature of the style of play that we prefer, because our defense is quite compact, and
Yes,
like the first priority for Solskjaer is to maintain a clean sheet no
especially
matter what.
especially with Eric Bailly coming back. Especially with Eric Bailly
Yeah,
coming back.
I actually wanted him to play today because in the beginning
Mm.
Lindelof looked a little tentative, because Harry Maguire, we all already know that he's pretty steady with the ball. He doesn't have much pace. He's pretty steady with the ball. His passing distribution is good. He's good in the air. We saw that today while clearing the dozen corners that went in Everton's favor. He's good in all that. But like, you also need someone who's a little reckless, like Eric Bailly, who can just challenge someone to a foot race and then put in that sliding tackle. We need someone like that, because Lindelof and
I
Maguire, I
won't
think
say
they're both the
reckless. I
same.
would say flamboyant. I
Yeah, you
won't
could
say
say that
reckless.
because
Not reckless. He's
because
flamboyant.
Lindelof also belongs to the same kin as Harry Maguire. He also has a similar nature,
Mm.
and I think Bai could be that British of this United team, while Maguire is the Ferdinand. So that might just keep that balance. Because if you even if you look at the midfield, Fred and Matic is a composed midfielder who keeps things simple. Fred, on the other end, is more tenacious. He goes for those tackles. He's an absolute workhorse. So you need two different players in one particular area to strike that balance.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that we need some tough players because Victor Lindelof, although he's a very good defender, I still think the physicality bit he lacks somewhere. Eric Bailly completely overpowers him in that particular direction, and that is something that Manchester United need to consider.
Anyways, we'll just talk about Manchester City also over here because they've just claimed their third consecutive Carabao Cup, something which Pep Guardiola doesn't like much, but he eventually gets it. So another silverware for Manchester City, and our next game will be against Derby County. That is Wayne Rooney's club right now. Frank Lampard's ex club, you could say. He was the manager of that club, and Wayne Rooney will be there. So it'll be an away fixture, and it will be on Friday. So we might be able to get a look at our legends such as Andres Pereira and Jesse Lingard playing that game. Don't you think, Paritosh?
If Andres Pereira and Lingard play, Rooney will take them to school, even
Yeah,
at
yeah.
his age. Even at his age, if they play, because Rooney plays in the middle right now. Rooney will dominate them. I don't want them playing against Wayne Rooney, man. I don't want them playing against Wayne Rooney. And
Even
that is as simple
even
as that.
even an inconsistent or a half fit Rooney is much better than an Andres Pereira at this time being because
I'd still take Wayne Rooney any day for Manchester United in place of Jesse Lingard or Andres Pereira.
well he was one of the main reasons why I became a United supporter and he was an absolute
I
legend.
started following Manchester United because of Wayne Rooney. I love the
Yeah.
guy. He's a workhorse man. He gives it all. Even though he might not be the fittest person on the football pitch, but once he crosses the white line, he gives it his all, and that is something that is really lacking with this Manchester United side.
Well, I think us fans should give Rooney the credit where it's due because we all respect and love Ronaldo. We all do that, and we hype him a lot.
I
But I think
I
it's Wayne Rooney.
I
It's Wayne. Yeah, I think we should have given even more respect and even more love to because he was a lovely servant of the club. And yeah, you were saying something, Paritosh?
There was no Ronaldo, there was no Van Persie. Rooney stayed, and because of Rooney, we were able to have our say in the Premier League when nobody was there. So if anybody says that Ronaldo is bigger of a legend for Manchester United than Rooney, you are just waffling at the moment because the guy
It's
has
bas-
the most goals in Manchester United history. For Manchester United, he's the bigger legend, I think.
it, it's basically like in Real Madrid, people would prefer Cristiano Ronaldo over Karim Benzema, but Karim Benzema has been there since the beginning, and he's still banging in the goals for them. So that's how Rooney. In fact, I should say Karim Benzema
I
is the Wayne Rooney
I
of
don't think
Real
you're
Madrid.
comparing it. I don't think you're comparing it the right way because Ronaldo was there for 6 years. Ronaldo was there at his peak. So
Yeah,
it is not really fair that you compare that to similar situation with Manchester United because Rooney changed from a boy to a man at Manchester United and he stayed there for long. And he had
absolutely.
tips. The only player to get the better of Alex Ferguson in an ego tussle, and that speaks a lot.
You could say that. Well, Dinete, I think he was one of your favorite players as well. We will be facing
Mhm.
Wayne Rooney's Derby County, and at the same time, we might be able to get to see our legends on the pitch, such as, like I said, Pereira, Lingard, etc. So, do you think that it'll be a cakewalk, or do you think we might have some issues over there?
I think we'll probably win it, but I think it would be like a 2-1 or even a 1-0. It might be a very close game. I hope Maguire gets rested and some other players as well. De Gea also, he needs to get a game off. I probably think Romero would play, but still, yeah, I hope it's going to be a bit changed 11, but hopefully we can win by a goal.
Right, by a goal. So, Dinete says that it's going to be a tight game. So, the next game against will be. I'm getting a little bit tongue tied over here because I'm too sleepy at the moment. So the next game for United will be against Derby County, and hopefully we will be there. Paritosh, anything else that you'd like to add, or that's it?
Yeah, one last question I have for each one of you is that Harry Maguire was given the player of the match for the game against Everton, and Bruno Fernandes was voted the king of the match in the uh, Fantasy Premier League. So,
Right,
who do you think was the bigger player in this particular game?
I would
Harry
say
Maguire.
Maguire. I would also say Maguire. If Bruno scored the second goal, then I would have said him. But Maguire kept us in with gave us a point.
And the reason
Ekus,
why Maguire
I would like to
Is
hear Ekus also.
Ekus is watching Narcos, I guess. So let's just leave him out of it. Anyways, I think Harry Maguire. The reason why I say that is also because Everton have scored over 9 corners from nine
Mhm.
corners in the Premier League, and every corner that was getting that Everton were getting on the receiving end too, I thought that they were going to score. They were going to score, but each and
Yeah,
every time it
same.
was Harry Maguire with his big fat head clearing the ball. So this was his best game till now, and
Yeah.
Aerially, he is very good. He's top notch aerially. It's the ground game where he
no,
No,
fumbles.
even
he's
one
good.
on
On
He's
the
one.
good
ground.
while going forward as well. He's good while
Yeah,
carrying the ball as well.
yeah.
No,
He also stopped a lot of one-on-one tackles. Like he kept tackling into the
no, he
throw
is
in and
good.
stuff.
He is. I'm not saying that he is bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that the top notch quality that was expected because of the transfer and stuff. I think when it comes to the ground, there are times where Harry Maguire looks out of sorts. The footwork is all over the place. I think because of the flat-footed nature, somewhere down the line, Harry Maguire is not a complete defender. He's a very good defender. He's a leader, but not a complete defender.
Yeah, I think Ekus is too busy. I will just sign off from here. Anything else,
Yeah,
Paritosh?
No, I'm done.
All
yeah. Me
right,
too.
cool, guys.
How
Next
many
session,
points
and
do you guys think we'll get from City and
what the
Spurs?
hell just happened over here?
Oh my God, the
You
resurrection of
already
the
said.
dead king.
I think he asked us how many points do you think we'll get in the next eight
My
games?
God,
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll get. Let's just give a random number. We'll get
4
10
points.
points. All right. No. Anyways, I think that's it, and
No,
we'll
Akers
meet you
will
next
get
one.
5 points.
Akers will get minus marks for this session. Anyways, okay. Until next time, this was One United, and do follow us, subscribe, and like. Bye bye.
Bye.
bye bye.